Hi, it's AJ again, and welcome to part 3 of the Tony and Frank video. So let's watch some more, and I'll stop and explain any difficult English. And hopefully this will help you. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you're, number one, you're learning some English, maybe some new phrases, or maybe just some pronunciation, and you're hearing how people naturally talk with English. No, not CNN, not the BBC. That's not really natural conversation. This video is a very, very natural conversation. A very normal, casual, everyday style of speaking. So I hope you're listening to that too. Notice the pronunciation. Notice how the speakers pause, or when they stop, or when they go up and when they go down. This will help your pronunciation. And then, of course, the other thing I hope you're learning is just the content, because this is really great information. Tony Robbins is a really great guy, and you can learn a lot about success and having just a better, happier, more wonderful life. So that's what Tony Robbins specializes in. That's what he does. He teaches people how to do that. So I chose this conversation for those two reasons. All right, so let's watch a little bit, and I'll pause and explain. Here we go, next part.
I'm just going to do that to the best of my ability. And sure, it's like, well, oh no, I can't write copy as well as Dan Kennedy, or I don't have as much energy and drive as Tony Robbins. Well,
but you didn't start
so what?
You didn't start out as Frank Kern. You didn't start out who you are. You started out trying to make how much? Come on.
$300.
Okay, so first he said you didn't start out. So Frank Kern is saying when he was poor, he had no money. He didn't know what to do. So he decided he would copy the best people. He would try to be like them. He chose Dan Kennedy, who is great with advertising, especially internet. And he decided, well, I can't write as well as him. I'm not as good as Dan Kennedy, but I will try to be like Dan Kennedy. And he said, I'm not as motivated as Tony Robbins. I don't have the same energy. But I will try to be more like Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins will be my role model, the person I want to be like personally. And Dan Kennedy will be the person I want to be like when I'm writing advertising. This is called modeling. We can use it as a verb, to model. To model means to find somebody who has the success you want already, and you try to be like them. So Frank is saying, I tried to do it, but I'm not as good as Tony. I'm not as good as Dan. And Tony interrupts him and says, you didn't start out as Frank Kern. He means you didn't start as this successful, famous internet business person, because now he's very famous. At least for internet business, he's famous. He said, you started out trying to make how much money? And I think Frank said $3,000, just a little bit.
A week.
A week.
$300.
Oh, $300, I'm sorry. His first goal, Frank's first goal, was to make $300 per week.
Right?
Yeah.
And you failed at that in the beginning, didn't you?
I failed.
And he said, you failed. He wanted to make $300 per week with his internet business, and he failed. He did not make that much. And then Frank is going to joke. He said, I failed miserably. This is a common phrase. To fail miserably means to fail a lot, to fail terribly. And he also jokes, he says, but it was effortless. It means it was easy. It was easy failure.
Pretty miserably, yes. But it was effortless to fail. It's just like natural.
It was natural. It was easy.
But truthfully, you went from $300 to, I remember you said your first time you believed, if I remember, was when you made like $2,500 in like 4 or 5
days when I was on vacation.
Okay, so he said but truthfully, he says, you failed, but then your first success, you made $2,500. Bucks, of course, means dollars. It's slang. So we say, $5 means $5. So one day, with his business, he was working on his business, and he went on vacation. And while he was on vacation, he made $2,500, or $2,500. So we say that both ways. Both are common. When we're talking about 2,000 something, a number, you can say $2,300. That's normal. You can also say $2,300. That's also normal.
While you're on vacation.
That was when the true internet marketing dream was realized, you know, because I sold a downloadable product and I wasn't even there. I didn't just ship anything. I was like,
He says, this is when the true internet business, internet marketing dream was realized. It means when it happened, when it finally, he said, that's when I realized it was success. He says, because I sold a downloadable product. So it was a digital product. So he's like, I didn't have to be there. He could be on vacation, but his business was still working, right? People could buy his product, and then they would download it from the internet, and Frank could be on vacation or doing something else. He said, that was my dream, this kind of internet business.
oh my God, this was so great, you know, $2,500. And to me, that was just a gazillion, you know.
So he said $2,500. He said, to me, that was like a gazillion, like a gazillion dollars. What is a gazillion? I don't think it's a real number, but it's kind of slang. It means a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. Right? We say, wow, he has a gazillion dollars. We don't know how much. It's not a real number. It just means he is super rich. He has a lot of money.
Because my rent, I think, was like $400 or something.
And when you've told me that story before, and you just did it again, and you get you big grin on your face,
right.
You get more excitement on your face than when you talk about doing 18, than when you talked about doing the 18 million, which I know you're proud as hell of, and you didn't get all the money, but you made 18 million bucks for somebody in 24 hours.
He said, okay, so he's saying, he's trying to show Frank something. One second. He's trying to show Frank something. He said, when you talk about your first success, the $2,500, he said, your face, you get a big grin. A grin is a big smile. And you look really happy. And he says, you look more excited. You look more happy when you talk about the first success, $2,500. Then, when you talk about making $18 million in one day. So Frank Kern is famous because he makes a lot of money. He's super, super rich. And one day, he made $18 million, or possibly more. I think it was more. But at least he says, when you talk about making $18 million, of course you look happy. He says, but you look more happy when you talk about your first success. So it's an interesting point, right?
Right?
Yeah.
But look at your face. It's like nowhere near as excited as $2,500 in 5 days, baby.
It's nowhere near as excited as when he made $2,500. He's more excited about that first success.
The $2,500 is just as, there's no difference.
No, there's even more. Because there was a moment when you recognized what was possible, but you...
So this is this is important. Tony is saying, why? Why are you more excited about the big success? About the first success, the first small success, $2,500, $2,500. Why is that more exciting to Frank than $18 million? And Tony says, this is why. He says, because when you made your first success, it changed your mind. Suddenly you realized what was possible. Suddenly, Frank, you realized that you could be successful. So the first success, it changed everything for Frank in his mind. He realized, I don't have to fail. I can succeed. I can be successful. It's so, so important. If you just get a first small success, it will change your thinking, change your beliefs, change your emotions, and then you'll get more success and more success. So for Frank, that first success, it was small, but it changed his beliefs. That's why it's so powerful to him. The 18 million, of course, he's happy, but when he made 18 million, he was already a successful business person. He already believed. But the first time, he didn't really believe, but when he got the first success, he suddenly got confident. He suddenly believed.